children. In today's video I am going to show you I am going to describe you the last part of the first chapter of class 12, that is reproduction in organisms. So today I will be describing about the sexual reproduction part. So watch it. So children, as I discussed about asexual reproduction from chapter 1 of class 12 biology, today it is the last part of the chapter, that is the sexual reproduction part. Now let me first tell you about the definition of sexual reproduction. Now sexual reproduction means the reproduction process in which involvement of gametes take place, that is male and female gametes, they fuse together to form zygote. So remember, zygote is unicellular, that is a single cell. Now you see in your book there's few names of the animals, plants are given which are bisexual or unisexual. Okay, now what is a bisexual organism? Like earthworm. Earthworm is known as hermaphrodite or bisexual. Now bisexual means those animals or those organisms that contain both the male and female gamete within it. So they are called bisexual. So earthworm is bisexual animal having both the male and female gametes can be produced in the same organism. Next come cockroach. You know very well cockroach is a small insect that is unisexual because you can find male and female cockroach separately. Next is monoecious plant that I am discussing about Chara. Now Chara, it is a green algae which is multicellular in nature, and mostly the Chara resembles the land plants because of its root-like, shoot-like and like stem-like and leaf-like appearance. So it is a monoecious plant. Monoecious means when both the male and female reproductive organs are found in the same organism. Clear? So this is all called about monoecious. So Chara is a monoecious plant bearing both the male and female reproductive organs. Now what is the name of the male reproductive organ in Chara? That is antheridium. And the female reproductive organ in the Chara is called oogonium or nucleus. So this is about Chara. Now let me tell you about dioecious plant. Here in your book there is an example of Marchantia. Marchantia is included in bryophyte. It is also a multicellular plant, and Marchantia is one type of liver root that is dioecious. Dioecious means when a plant or an organism or any invertebrate that have male and female reproductive organs in the separate individuals. So dioece means two household. It is a Greek word which means two household, means the two different partners or the individuals bear the respective gametes. So this is dioecious. Okay. Next come one of the bisexual flower. Bisexual flower you very well know about hibiscus. Hibiscus, that is China rose in a colloquial language. So even sweet potato, they are bisexual flowers. Okay. Now the next topic of this sexual reproduction part is about juvenile phase. Now what do you mean by juvenile phase and vegetative phase? Now you see in plants, till the plant produces flower, after germination of the plant and before flowering, the plant undergo the maturity or growth of these vegetative parts. And this phase of the life cycle of the plant is called vegetative phase. And after the plant starts flowering, it falls in reproductive stage. The plant becomes mature and is ready to produce gametes. That is the reproductive phase. So vegetative phase in the plant is that part of the life cycle where after germination the plant it grow vegetatively and it become mature. So same as like the vegetative phase in the plant, in animal it is called juvenile phase. So juvenile phase is the vegetative phase of the animals when the animal is growing till it attains reproductive capability. Like for example, in human being we know adolescence, it is puberty, it is the stage where person attains reproductive ability. So this is about juvenile phase and vegetative phase in the animals and plants respectively. Well children, so let me discuss about the one topic left, that is events of sexual reproduction, the last topic of this chapter. Now before going to that topic, let me discuss about two new terminologies. Now, one term is known to you, common to you, that is menstrual cycle. You have already studied in class 8 as well as in 10. But in one more term, that is called estrous cycle, may be new for you. Now, what is estrous cycle? Now, in some animals who are generally known as non-primate mammals like sheep, cow, dogs. Now, you know very well, these animals, they breed once in a season. Means they have a particular season for mating. So, they breed in a particular season. So, that's why they are called seasonal breeder. Now, in this type of animals, there are some set of physiological changes that take place in the body that are induced by some reproductive hormones. Okay, so these reproductive hormones are actually these hormones bring changes in them in a particular season, and they mate with the opposite sex. So this is about the non-primate mammals. So these type of mammals are seasonal breeders, and their female, this type of animals female, they undergo estrous cycle. Next is the menstrual cycle. Now, in primate animals, primate mammals like monkey, apes and human beings, the female reproductive cycle is called menstrual cycle. So, it is a continuous breeder. The apes, monkey and human beings, they are primates and primate mammals. So, they show sexual reproduction throughout the lifetime. Means at a particular lifespan of the time, they can reproduce. So, they do not have a particular season for reproduction. So, that is called menstrual cycle. Now see, I will be talking about the sexual reproduction events. Now there are mainly 3 events that induces in the sexual reproduction. The first event is pre-fertilization event, before fertilization, before the syngamy. Okay, that is the fusion of male and female gamete take place in fertilization process. Before that, what happens in this process, that is the pre-fertilization event. Then come the fertilization event, that is also known as syngamy. And the third one is the post-fertilization event. Now, what do you mean by pre-fertilization event? Now, you see, pre-fertilization event are again divided into 2 heads. That is gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Now, what do you mean by gametogenesis? Now, gametogenesis is involved in the formation of 2 haploid reproductive units called gametes. Now, why it's called haploid? Haploid means half the number of chromosomes. So, in gametes, half the number of chromosomes are present. So, they are called haploid. So, the male gamete is formed in the male reproductive part of the male, that is called the male gamete by the process of spermatogenesis, and the female gamete is formed in the female reproductive part in the body of the female, that is called the oogonium or the egg, and the process is oogenesis. So, the formation of male gamete is called spermatogenesis, formation of female gamete is called oogenesis. Now, when the male and female gametes, they are formed, they now are ready to fertilize. Now, in case when the male and female gametes are similar in appearance, and it is very it is not possible to differentiate between which is the male gamete and what is the female gamete. So, in that condition, it is called isogamete or homogamete. Homo means same. So, when male and female gametes cannot be distinguished individually, then they are called isogamete or homogamete. Clear? Now, when the male and female gametes are morphologically distinct and different, they can be identified. They are called heterogametes. So, heterogamete, among the heterogamete, the male reproductive unit is called anthrazoid or sperm, and the female reproductive unit is called the egg or ova. Clear? Now, you see, in single-celled organism, okay, when they bear both the male and female sex organ, they are called homothallic or monoecious. Okay, so in single organism, when a single organism bear both the male and female gamete together in the same plant or same organism, it is called, in the same plant, it is called homothallic in case of plant, and monoecious, it may be monoecious. Now, for example, coconut is a monoecious tree. Okay, now it is different in dioecious. Dioecious means when organism produce different male and female gametes in the different animals, like papaya plant, male plant is. Now, children, I was just telling you about the gametogenesis process. So, the events that take place during sexual reproduction. So, events are pre-fertilization event, that include the gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Then come fertilization, okay, process, and then post-fertilization events. Now, in gametogenesis process, you see, gametes are always haploid in nature. Remember, gametes are haploid. Now, in case of haploid organisms, the organisms which are haploid, they produce gamete by mitosis. Because the organism itself, their body cells always contain haploid number of chromosomes. So how could they produce again haploid gamete? Not possible. So in case of haploid organisms, the gamete are produced by mitosis process. Clear? Now in case of diploid organisms, the gamete are produced by meiosis. Now meiosis takes place in myocyte cells. Now what are myocyte cells? Myocyte cells are known as the gamete mother cell. So gamete mother cells or myocyte cells are the cells that helps in formation of gamete in haploid organisms. So they are specialized cells. Now see, at the end of both the divisions, only one set of chromosome get incorporated in the organisms or in the gamete. Okay, so only one set of chromosome get incorporated because again there will be syngamy. So there will be fusion of the male gamete and female gamete. So the diploid condition will be retained. So for that, only a single set of chromosome get incorporated in the gamete. Clear? So here you see I have drawn some of the gametes. Now in case of isogamete. Now isogamete, as I told you just before, that isogamete looks similar. So in some lower algae like Cladophora, they have isogamete. Means both the male and female gamete look similar. So we cannot distinguish them by physical appearance. So they are isogamete. Next come the heterogamete. Heterogamete are they are the different type of gametes. Heterogametes are different type of gametes. Mean male and female are they look dissimilar. So this is another type of alga called fucus. So in fucus, the one gamete is very large, that is the female gamete, and the male gamete is smaller one. In case of human sperm, you know, is the smallest cell in the human body. In case of male and female, the egg cell is the one of the largest cells. So you see the male gamete are generally motile. Okay, now generally motile because both the gametes need some physically, they need to be brought together to facilitate the fusion process or syngamy process. For that, generally the male gamete are motile and they go near the female gamete for fusion. So gamete transfer is the transfer of the male gamete towards the female gamete for physical fusion. Okay, that facilitate fusion. So male gametes they are motile, just now I told you. Now in case of lower plants, you see in case of lower plants mainly usually their female gametes are static and male gametes are usually motile. So in lower plant like algae and some fungi, the male and female both gametes are motile. Clear? Now generally I told you that male gametes are motile, female gametes are static or stationary. But in some lower plants and some algae and fungus, both male and female gametes are motile. Means both the gamete come closer. Now you can now understand that when that both gametes are moving, that means they need some medium, isn't it? So they need some medium to for the fusion. Okay, so like simple plants, algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, water is the medium. So the gametogenesis, as I told you, it is divided into two heads, that is the gamete formation and gamete transfer. I hope you understood the gamete formation process. Now you see in case of angiosperms, flowering plants, the pollen grains are the male, means they bear the male gametes, isn't it? Now the pollen grains, they are transferred from the anther where the pollens are born to the stigma. Now this transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of one flower, okay, to the another flower, either see the pollen grain exchange may take place either in the same flower, which is known as autogamy, or this pollination, the transfer of pollen grain from the flower may take place in the different flower of the same plant, that is geitonogamy. Or either the pollination may take place from the flower, one flower, to a genetically different plant of the same species, that is called genogamy. I hope you understood these three terminologies. So first terminology that I told you, that is autogamy. Autogamy means that is when the transfer of pollen grain take place from one flower to the same flower in the stigma, from the anther to the stigma. So that is auto, means the same genetically same flower, same means it is a bisexual flower having both the male and female, okay, reproductive units. And heterogamy, same plant but two different flowers, so that is heterogamy. And genogamy is genetically two distinct flower. So I hope if I draw the diagram, it will be easy for you to understand these three process, isn't it? So let me try to draw and make you understand about this these three terminologies. Now actually you will already read these topics in chapter 2. Okay, let me describe. Now suppose this is a plant. Okay, now suppose this is a plant, and suppose this is a flower. This is a flower. Now see, in a flower you know that there are anther, and you know there is pistil. Pistil is the female reproductive part of the flower, isn't it? Now suppose this transfer takes place in the same plant, same flower. So here the flower bear both the anther and the pistil. So from the anther lobe, the pollen grains are released from the anther lobe to the stigma of the same flower in this flower itself. Okay, so that is autogamy. Clear? That is autogamy. Now in case of heterogamy, what happens? Now see, this is another flower. In the same plant, this is another flower. Suppose this is another flower. So from here the pollen grain will land on this flower. That is the heterogamy. Clear? This is the heterogamy. And what's about genogamy? Genogamy means when there is another plant of the same species. Species is same. Suppose the hibiscus. Okay, same species but the distinct, genetically distinct. Okay, so here the pollination is taking place from here to here. That is from the anther of this flower to the stigma of this flower. That is called genogamy. So these are the three types of processes of pollination. Okay, pollination means transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of a same flower, or of the different flower of the same plant, or different flowers of the genetically different plants of the same species. Clear? Next come the second part of the gametogenesis. That is second part is over. Sorry, there is the fertilization. Now fertilization is syngamy. Now syngamy means fusion of male and female gamete that forms what? Zygote. Zygote is unicellular in nature. Now this phenomenon of development of male female gamete directly into individuals sometimes take place also. That is called parthenogenesis. So children, now let me describe about external fertilization and internal fertilization. I see I have described here about the external fertilization, the 4 points, but I have left some blank spaces for you to complete the internal fertilization. I hope you will understand after describing the external fertilization in the organisms. Now you see, as external, the term implies that the fertilization process takes place outside the body of the female. Clear? So what will be the answer for the internal fertilization? That is, the fertilization will take place inside the female body. So I am writing it inside the female body. Fertilization takes place inside the female body. Clear? Okay. So what's the next point thereafter? Now in external fertilization, as you know, the fertilization takes place in the water medium or the external medium outside the body. So the gametes are in danger of being eaten away by some other predators, or maybe washed away by water, or there may be large number of factors that may spoil the gametes. So that's why you see, in order to overcome this loss, the organisms, they produce a large number of gametes. So large number of gametes are produced in external fertilization. Here few number of gametes or less number of gametes, few gametes produced. Okay, next come the third point. Now this, as I told you earlier in the second point, that vulnerable to predators. All the offsprings may be vulnerable to predators. They may be eaten away by predators, may be washed away by rainwater, or may be washed away by the water current. So their life is threatening. But here you see the offsprings are well protected comparatively. So here well protected offspring. Why? Because they are inside the female body or inside the mother's body. Next come the examples. So in external fertilization, mostly seen in bony fishes, that is aquatic animals, mammals, okay. Very sorry. amphibians, bony fishes. Okay, so majority of algae also they show external fertilization. In internal fertilization, examples are birds, mammals, reptiles. They show internal fertilization. So birds, mammals, and even reptiles, they show internal fertilization. So this was about fertilization process. Next come the post fertilization event, the last part of the chapter, post fertilization event. Now let me tell you about post fertilization event. So what do you mean by post fertilization event? That is the development of the zygote. So the development of the zygote takes place. Now in external fertilization, zygote is formed in the external medium, but in internal fertilization, zygote is formed inside the body of the female organism. Now further, the development of the zygote takes place. Now the development of the zygote depends upon the life cycle and the environment in which the organism survives. Now zygote ensures the continuity of the species between the organism of one generation and the next generation, because the zygote only they bring forward the genetic information the next generation in. Now you see in algae and fungi, the zygote develop a thick wall against their body. Okay, why? In order to resist from desiccation and damage. Clear? Now in haplontic life cycle, in organisms who has haploid life cycle, in that haplontic life cycle, the zygote undergo reductional division, that is meiosis. Why? To form a haploid organism. But in diplontic organisms, the life cycle of the zygote the diplontic life cycle organisms, the zygote undergo mitotic division. So remember this key word, haplontic life cycle, they show the meiotic division. In diplontic life cycle, the zygote undergo mitotic division. Okay, so this is about zygote development. Next come the embryogenesis. Now what is embryogenesis? So as I was talking about embryogenesis, now what is embryogenesis? Development of embryo from zygote. This is called embryogenesis. Now during embryogenesis, zygote undergo two types of division. Number one, cell division, that is the mitotic division to increase the number of cells in the organism, and then the cell differentiation, that is specialized tissues and organs are thereafter formed from the number of cells. So first cell division takes place followed by cell differentiation. So these are the two parts of embryogenesis. Next the next topic is about based on whether the zygote develop outside the body of female parent or based on whether the zygote develops inside the body of the female parent, animals are divided into oviparous and viviparous. Now what is oviparous? Ovi means they are the animals that lay fertilized egg. The eggs are fertilized inside the body and then thereafter the embryogenesis takes place outside the body. In viviparous, the total embryogeny, that is the fertilization process, embryogenesis, everything takes place inside the body of the mother, that is the female partner. Okay, that is vivipary. Now you see, chances of survival in oviparous is less, but in chances of the viviparous animal are more. So examples of ovipary is bird and reptile, and examples of vivipary are the mammals, majority of mammals including human being also. So this is about the embryogenesis. And a very small part of this chapter is left, that is the flowering plant. In flowering plant also the zygote is formed inside the ovule. Okay, so where is the ovule located? You know, if this is the pistil, so inside the pistil, okay, so this is the ovary. So you know the ovules are located in the locules. Now in the flowering plant, the zygote is formed inside the ovule. So where the zygote develops into an embryo. Now the fertilized ovule, after fertilization it forms what? Seed, and the ovary forms the fruit. Okay. Now the seeds thereafter matures and get ready for dispersal under favorable condition and germinate into new plants. So what is the outermost protective coating of the fruit? That is the pericarp, which is the fruit wall. Okay. So you see in your inside book you can find some of the pictures of the fruits inside which the seeds are there. That is the placentation. So if it is the pea, you see this is the pea plant having the seeds here. Okay. So what is this? This is the pericarp. Okay. And what is this? This is the seed. the seed is the P. P means pericarp. So in this way the seeds are aligned. So in this way various type of plants have various type of placentation that you have already studied in class 11. I hope you remember. So this was about the entire topic of the chapter 1. Okay, reproduction in organisms. So I hope you understood the chapter. It's the introductory class, the chapter, very easy, and go through it. So I hope you understood. Students, I hope you understood the last part of the chapter 1 of class 12 biology, that is the reproduction in organisms. So it was a brief description as it was an introductory chapter. So in the next video I am going to describe about the sexual reproduction in human being, that is chapter 3. So keep watching my video, and if you think that you want more and more videos regarding chapter 12, all the chapters, then you have to subscribe my channel. If you like it, you can share with your friends, and that's all. Keep watching my video.